Have you ever felt like a piece of your life's puzzle was missing? For me, it wasn't just a piece, it was the entire picture. My story starts with what I thought was a normal family tradition, something that seemed quirky and sweet. Every year on my birthday, instead of a big party, my parents would take me to a specific small town a few hours away. We'd visit the same park, eat at the same little diner, and my dad would always buy me a small carved wooden bird from the same gift shop. He'd say, "This is where our family story really began." I never questioned it. It was just our thing. Fast forward 25 years, I'm engaged, planning a future, and I needed my birth certificate to get a passport for our honeymoon. I asked my mom where it was, and she got unusually flustered. She told me it was in a safety deposit box, and she'd get it later. Her reaction was weird, but I brushed it off. A week went by, then two. Every time I asked, she had an excuse. Frustration started to set in. I was an adult. Why was this so complicated? Finally, I told her I'd just go to the county records office myself and get a copy. The look on her face wasn't just annoyance. It was pure panic. That's when the first alarm bell went off in my head. At the records office, I gave the clerk my name and date of birth. She typed away, frowned, and then typed again. "I'm sorry," she said. "I don't have a record for anyone with that name born on that day." My heart dropped. I insisted she was wrong. I gave her my parents' names, my full name again, every detail I could think of. She tried different spellings, different databases, nothing. It was as if I didn't exist. The clerk, probably seeing the color drain from my face, suggested I might have been born in a different county. My parents had always said I was born in the local hospital, the same one my friends were born in. But at this point, I was desperate. I started calling hospitals in neighboring counties. Nothing. It felt like I was in a movie, a ghost in my own life. That's when I remembered the birthday town. That quirky little tradition, the town my dad said our story began. On a whim, a gut feeling I can't explain, I called the records office in that county, 3 hours away. I gave the clerk my information. There was a pause. Then she said, "Okay, I see it. The certificate is here, but the name is slightly different." She read out a first name I had never heard before, attached to my last name, and the parents listed were not my parents. The world just stopped. It was like the floor fell out from under me. I drove the 3 hours to that town in a complete daze. I held the document in my hands. It was real. A different name, different parents. Suddenly, everything clicked into place in the most horrifying way. The yearly trips weren't a tradition. They were a pilgrimage, a visit to the place where I was actually from, the place my parents, the people who raised me, had taken me from. The small wooden birds weren't just a gift. They were a symbol, a constant, silent reminder of a life I was never allowed to know. Confronting my parents was the hardest thing I've ever done. The truth came out in a flood of tears and decades-old secrets. I was the daughter of their close friends who had passed away tragically when I was a baby. My parents, unable to have children of their own and wanting to protect me from the trauma, decided to raise me as their own, creating a new identity for me and erasing my past. They thought they were doing the right thing, protecting me with a wall of lies, but that wall had just come crashing down. Uncovering this secret wasn't the end of a chapter. It was like discovering the book I'd been reading my whole life was written in the wrong language. Now, I have to figure out how to read the real one. Thanks for listening.